and we move on from there.
I'm sorry. I just realized I did not unmute.
That's okay. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, it's
We're
fine.
starting. We're starting. Okay.
Um,
No.
going forward, the current Council of Governors, which is Lyon Clayton's year, governors did amend the policy for multiple district four, which is the state of California. From now on, it no longer matters if you work with a Leo for 5 minutes during the year or you're working with them as the full-time Leo advisor. Everyone must be fingerprinted. The screening and record management is not kept here in the district. It's kept by a person appointed by the state of California and the Lions. And it's now, as of July 1, will be changing from Craig Duran to past council chair Kevin Guess.
Oh, okay.
And all we'll ever know is pass fail. If we don't get a phone call at the district saying this person cannot work with Leos, everything's fine. So if you don't hear from us, everything's fine. The other interesting thing is within Leos, a lot of times we have to travel places. A lot of our Leos don't drive. It is the recommendation from the Council of Governors that Leo advisors do not transport their own Leos without a secondary adult in the car. With that, it's only because if you're doing rounds of drop off, you never want to be the one-on-one ever. We don't want to hear about, oh, I was the only Leo that showed up at Leo, so we just sat in a room and talked. I never want to hear that. If only one Leo shows up to a Leo meeting, call the meeting. Thank you for coming. I'm really sorry, but we can't have a club. We can't have a meeting like this. Which is why a lot of Leo clubs are doing their standard meeting stuff on Zoom and record it. They're recommending recording all Leo meetings, especially if they're on Zoom, purely because it's then black and white. There's no way anyone can say anything else. You work in a school, you know all these.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of the way LifeScan works, you still have to do a LifeScan for teaching and you have to do another one for Leos. They can't share information. We fought it for years. They never gave in. We're still trying. Liability and good faith practices are important. Good faith practices are what we're going to call it in a standard meeting. There's no real rules and regulations on how to run a meeting other than don't be alone with one youth, right? However, when it comes to liability, the other change that has happened at the last Council of Governor meeting is they said, if you are ever going to transport Leos in your personal vehicle, you must submit the insurance liability form that is now on the youth protection page to the district secretary. All she's going to do is keep it on file. So if anything were to ever happen, unfortunately, no one ever looks at the little fish, right? If someone's going to sue, they're going to see the biggest fish. And if we have the liability and the release on record for transport, if something, God forbid, were to happen, you're clear. Okay. So that's youth protection in a nutshell. Do you have any questions about youth protection?
Forgive me for
Yeah.
this last thing you mentioned about the liability form to the district secretary. Is that the Lions liability form or is that your car insurance?
It's a vehicle liability form. So knowing that we had one person come register ahead of time, I printed one of everything, but you're the only one here. You get a soft copy of everything.
Oh yeah.
All the forms, the current youth protection policy, and the only thing in that policy that is different between today and next Tuesday is that everyone must be fingerprinted, everyone must be background checked. Don't forget, if your Leo club is a school-based Leo club, there's different stuff as well, but you have to go according to the school. So with that, youth protection, in a nutshell, I know you're in good hands, so I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I'll pass it off to Leo Lyon August.
Could you go
Yeah.
very briefly on what is the process on getting youth protected?
Okay, so
certified? Yeah.
yeah, on youth protection, you go on to, I'm gonna be real, I get lost on most of our Lions websites. I go to Google and you type in multiple or MB4 Lions youth protection, and it'll take you directly to the page. And in there, there's a small training course. It's a video with 5 questions at the end. I'm gonna be real. Council chair is gonna plug his ears and let you know that if you work with kids already, you know the information. You can take the test. It is not one of those tests that if you fail, you can't take it again, but it won't let you retake it without turning on the video. Okay, then once that's done, in that packet, there's the life scan form. You have to pay. Some of the clubs reimburse for life scan, some don't. That's up to your club. I know Basso, every board member of our club is life scanned every 2 years because we work with a vulnerable population. We just want to be upfront about what we do and that who we are, because we go into schools all the time. Like a lot of Special Olympic programs happen in schools during the day. So we do a lot of that. Does that make sense? Did I answer that question?
And then that all gets submitted.
So that all gets submitted and it goes through to the MD4 office. And they take care of making sure that all that's taken care of. If I were to go through in it and be like, hey, I haven't been able to get a hold of San Francisco Phil Lamb's youth protection officer or youth Leo officer, can you tell me has so-and-so completed? They would say yes or no, but they won't ever tell me anything else. You know, and if I hear no, then I'll be calling the president and any past district governor in the club and, you know, so. The goal this year is to have all of these forms, whether your Leo club is fully active or not. I suggest you just get it done and be ready for Leos. Don't wait for Leos and then get it done. No later than September 15th.
That's the simple, like, 1 page, our club does this, yeah, okay.
And it's in that packet. And you'll be getting a new one from me July 2nd. I'm not gonna say July 1.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Okay, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. You good? All right.
Okay.
You want the clicker? I'll wait for you.
Oh, wait, is it plugged into your?
Yeah, you just plug it right on the side,
Oh,
USB.
okay. Is it yours or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want it, it's all you have to do is transfer it. All right,
Thanks.
youth protection is done.
All right, thank you, Lion.
Have asked me to run down and help get on the portal, so
All right,
if
thank
you
you.
need me, text me.
Yeah, thank you, Lion Maryah.
There's people in there that are having trouble.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
get all the new
All
criteria.
the new stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Someone paid
I
attention.
didn't want to interrupt you, but actually Jeree will be in charge. We just didn't change it.
Okay.
Curry was already on, so I just got it now.
All right, well, I guess I will set up now. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties with the first, couple minutes of that recording. So I think when I put it, I think I'll cut it off and just show the portion that has audio. But you didn't miss much. Let's see. So let's get over to club officer training for Leos. And yeah, and I can do this. Well, and then I just want to make sure I'm not blocking the screen. All right, thank you for coming. I am Leo Lion August Valera. I am the Leo chairperson. And it's so awkward that like the camera is here, but you're over there. So I'm gonna move it over here.
You want to place it here?
It's plugged into the computer. So yeah, I'm Leo Lion August Valera. I'm one of the Leo district chairpersons, along with Macon and Valerie, for this coming year. So we, as chairpersons, we help run the Leo district. That is the collection of Leos that include the club presidents of all the clubs, as well as elected president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, etc., officers of the district. Speaking of which, the Leo district is in need of officers for next year. We have attempted to have an election, I believe, early May, and no one submitted a nomination. So we're kind of in the situation now where we are heavily going to recruit from the club presidents and just reach out and let them know that these opportunities for leadership are available. Okay, so as you can see here, this presentation was pulled out from Lions International. So I decided not to recreate the wheel for this presentation because they had a very nice slide deck, and I'll be kind of skipping through it and just talking about sort of the core aspects of Leo clubs. And I know everyone here in the room is a Leo club advisor for more than 1 year. So there's all of this should be sort of a refresher. But if you have any questions, again, please feel free to raise your hand and ask. And I will try to answer to the best of my ability. Let me see if I can hide some of the Zoom stuff that's happening here. No, it's okay. All right, so so this is all available online at lionsclubs.org. There are several modules. I don't think we're going to go through all of them. I've already kind of omitted module 5, working with younger people, because I feel like that's something that you can sort of self-study, and I just want to cover the basics of the Leo program. But we'll definitely cover the overview. We'll cover the role of the Leo advisor. We'll cover Leo club administration, which mainly is what club officers are, in a Leo club and what are their responsibilities, and then maybe a little bit on resources. All right, so okay, hopefully everyone knows this, but a Leo club is a collection of young people that have organized to form a club similar to a Lions club. But of course, every Leo's club is sponsored by their own Lions club. And the sponsoring club has the responsibility of guiding these people and appointing a Leo club advisor or several, but at least one, and one that'll be listed on LCI, to serve as the advisor for the club. And then the Leo club also has its board of directors, same thing as a Lions club. You got the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and then membership chairperson is interesting. That is something that they've just added within the past year. If Leo clubs are strong enough to warrant having, someone dedicated to recruitment, then that would be nice. And then also board members. They say 3. I've seen a mix, but I guess that's the best practice. And then of course, all the Leo clubs, the rest of the Leos are just Leo club members. And we'll go into, I think, right after, exactly. So Leo clubs, most Leo clubs in the district are alpha clubs. Alpha clubs, 12 to 18, middle school, high school. Once they turn 18, they are done, sort of, or I guess once they turn 1 year past the date of which you're eligible, which is 19 years old. So they can be 12, they can be 18, they can't be 19. On the day of their birthday, or their 19th birthday, they are, I believe, now automatically dropped. That didn't used to be the case, but that is sort of the end of their term as an Alpha Leo if they're part of an Alpha Leos club. Likewise, Omega Leos are 18 to 30. I don't know, Lion Maryah, I think, said something like 24 or 21. But at least, on the paper it says 30. I think there's geographic specific requirements for that as well. So if they set for the US 21, then that's one thing. Maybe that's because it's the age of majority. There are other countries in Asia, or particularly in Europe, Germany does not allow groups of young people to be lions. So like when you're 30, you're not eligible to be a lion yet, or at least when you're 25, you're not. So then they have Omega Leos up to 30 for that reason. I believe our district has 1 or 2, but not very active Omega Leos clubs. There's one that is active, and that one is sponsored by San Mateo Metro. The president is past Leo district president Angela Lee, but she's off in East Coast for school, and that club is primarily cyber and meets on Eastern time. And because of that, I mean, it's her former Alpha Leos club, now turned Omega. So because of that, they have a hard time getting on our 9 or 8:30 p.m. Pacific time Zoom meetings, because that's like almost midnight for her. But yes, Omega is an option. In the past, we've kind of done campus clubs, like Lions clubs on a campus. San Francisco State was the notable example, and that failed or was closed down, unfortunately, due to the administration of San Francisco State. So Omega Leos clubs are definitely an option for your club if you have a lot of Leos aging out. So I mean, not to point fingers, but I would heavily suggest that Millbrae consider that as a way to keep their terming out Leo population in the fold in service. All right, so Leos at a glance. LCI gave me this slide. I guess there are 18 or 180,000 reported Leos across the world. That's pretty cool. 7,800 clubs and 150 countries. And then, yeah, summary of this. I think Maryah already touched it before. Leo stands for Leadership Experience Opportunity. That kind of mirrors what we want to provide to these youth, like leadership skills, being a club officer, or moving up into the hierarchy. Experience with service, experience, working hands-on with Lions, or just general like sort of varied experiences. I know, we've done a training on youth exchange before, so that's one such experience that you get as a Leo. And then opportunities to like network, opportunities to sort of discover yourself and discover service, and opportunities sort of to be a part of a cohesive group working together towards service. Yep, starting a Leo club can be beneficial for a Lions club in many ways, and really just infusing it with new ideas and new members. And that's what we want with Lions. And we do exist all across the world. Yep. Let's see. End of module activity. You want to do that? Yeah, I mean, with one person, it's kind of hard to do that. That's okay. All right. What is this? Okay. I think I was supposed to, but yeah, okay. The first Leo Club was founded in 1957. I believe it came out of a baseball club. Like they had like youth baseball, and they're like, oh, we want to also do community service, and we have our Lions Club that's helping sponsor youth baseball. Let's form a service club sort of around that. And then it's like, let's call it Leos. Don't quote me on that. It's somewhere. It's online. The general idea, I'm sure, is correct. Yeah, and then they make it an official district project, and then it spreads out by 1967, 10 years later. Recently, of course, 2008, I guess, is when they split it off into Alpha and Omega. 2009, Leo Advisory Panel. So 2018, Leo Lions. So Leo Lions, as we might know in the room, are former Leos, now Lions. In 2018, they introduced a position for a Leo Lion to be a member of the board of International. And actually that spread out. So now we have a Leo Lion, or hopefully, knock on wood, have a Leo Lion or a Leo on our cabinet next year, as we have in years past. So like the cabinet with the district governor, with with the current district governor, Clayton Jolly, with future district governor, Cindy Zhang, one Leo Lion is appointed to sit at their level to sort of discuss things, and should be attending sort of all those meetings to give the input of a young person. Yep. Leo Club purpose, leadership, experience, opportunity. I can very much tell that this was meant to be separate modules spread across a couple days or something, because they are repeating stuff. And then let's read this, because this is actually, this is sort of the goal statement, or something that International is like very specifically coded as things that, like the specific objectives of the Leo Club program. So to make available to Lions clubs an activity, allowing them to serve the needs of youth in their respective areas, to provide the youth of the world with an opportunity for development and contribution, individually and collectively, as responsible members of the local, national, and international communities, to promote service activities amongst young people, and offer them an opportunity to develop the individual qualities of leadership, experience, and opportunity. Yeah, that's from the board policy manual, which is, you can think of it as the sort of the constitution and bylaws of Lions. Oh, let's see. Interesting. Give me 1 second. I'm just debugging if Oh, okay, now this is working. Small one. Right. So of course, roles of the sponsoring Lions Club, and we went back to that. I said, of course, the Lions Club, we want them to be appointing a Leo advisor. So it says over here, assign an energetic Leo Club advisor that attends the Leo Club's planned events. I would have put that at the top of the list, but of course, we have to talk about the specifics. So covers the annual organization fee. So each club is charged $100 per year for their club. And that is a flat fee for the entire club. So it's no longer the case that each Leo is charged an individual fee. It's $100 and you can have as many members as you want for no additional cost. Ensure coverage of Leos under general liability insurance program. Whenever you have an event, it is best to apply for insurance. Have the Leos had their own events? Like, has any Leo or any club had their own event where they not in conjunction with the Lions Club, but have the Leos formed their own separate events that served people? Not I'm excluding things like beach cleanups where it's the Leos by themselves, but something where the Leos were serving other people.
For Griffins, I don't think we have it at all.
Okay. I
I
mean,
want
Cherry
to
Block,
say-
but that's covered under an
That's
umbrella organization. Yeah.
It's under our organization away from us. That's a city run thing.
Okay.
And then there's that one time in Chinatown, but again, that was.
That's just parade, right?
approved for the Lions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But no, I don't think so.
I would suggest, sorry, off topic, but did you hear about Daly City Festival or whatever? Top to Hill
Yeah, the
Festival?
one that they're advertising all the way in October.
Yeah, we should
Okay.
get a booth. If not for Lions, then for Leos, because I know Lions, they did the health fair last year.
Yeah, we'll probably. put
but-
that on the table.
But I'm thinking, okay, so off the top of my head, the clubs that I know that have put on their own first party, I know that the Leos of Unified, the Lions have their donut, Lion Alvin Louis always sets up the donut machine and makes donuts and fundraises. But last year, not this year, but last year, the Leos were also able to set up their own booth, separate from the Lions, and sell boba, in partnership with a boba company. So that's kind of gray area. I would consider that to be Leo initiated and not under the Lions umbrella because it's a separate booth. Of course, when it comes to liability, the boba shop presumably also has their own. If anything's wrong with the food, then that's on them. But if there's anything that's wrong, if a Leo accidentally injures someone, or there's some question of liability there because they aren't under umbrella, then that's the point where the Leo Club advisor should fill out. And it's a very simple one-page form on the Lions International website. You just put in, I'm a Lions Club or I'm a Leos Club. I'm going to have an event on this date, this location, general description of what you're planning to do. You submit that and you get a insurance document. Basically this document says this particular event is covered under the Lions International liability insurance up to $1 million. Which is good because it's free. It doesn't cost us anything. It comes out of our dues. And it really gives sort of some safety in case what we really don't want to happen. But yeah, just wanted to cover that because I think that's not very well known, or at least within the Leo circle, that's something they can and should be doing. Counsel Leo clubs when administrative and service issues, of course, and just to be a general advisor. Set up bank accounts, accounting, and community partnerships for the Leo Club. So that is an interesting one. How many Leo clubs here have their own bank account? No, okay. Which is good. I mean, so the Leo Club itself, and this is a very interesting dynamic, is that the Lions Club, a Lions Club, is a 501c4 registered nonprofit with the IRS. It is a legal entity. In addition to being a collection of people, it is also an entity that files taxes every year, has a board of directors that's registered, hopefully with the Secretary of State. It has a lot of paperwork behind it. It is a legitimate organization / entity, legal entity. A Leo Club is not. A Leo Club is a split off from the Lions Club. So when it comes to taxes, when it comes to bank accounts, when it comes to anything financial or anything of that nature, if you have to sign a contract or something, and you're not signing on behalf of yourself, but you're saying, oh, like our club is entering into a contract. The Lions Club is the actual entity. That's the tax ID number that you'll find when you're opening up the bank account, same thing. So it is the responsibility of the Lions to set up that financial infrastructure if they want. Some clubs, like I think you might have mentioned, like I don't even know if Philam has Leo funds anymore, but if we did, it would be recorded by the treasurer and just sort of, this is a line item in the club's general administrative account that this line, like this amount of monies is available and is like dedicated to Leos. And then if they ever use that money, you just decrease or increase. But the Lions Club is the one writing the checks. That's kind of wise because honestly, the more bank accounts that you have, the harder it is to do the change of signatories every year. Even if it's the same bank, you have to like sign the paper like 3 times. But you can, an option of course is to open up either a bank at a separate account, at a separate bank, open an account for your Leos at a separate bank, or open a dedicated, just like checking account separate from your normal checking account for the Leos. Either way works. And that's just sort of some way if you want to give them their own transparency. I think minors can be signatories for bank accounts. Yeah, of course. So I mean, the Leo district does that. So that's definitely true. So you can give them signing access specifically to that bank account, but that's kind of a choice of yours, how complex you want to make things. And yeah, set up bank accounts, accounting, community partnerships with Leo's Club. Okay. Why are Leo clubs important? So what is the benefit? Again, we've kind of already gone over a lot of this information, but yeah, it really does help bring new ideas and new members to the club. It does, okay, like this is a good point, informs Lions about new trends and community needs. So trends when it comes to, oh, like, people are like really getting sort of like the younger generation or just like the current events, like, Lions are kind of pigeonholed to like we do this every year. And I'm trying not to stereotype Lions clubs because of course there are many clubs and some are more agile than others. But I would say on average, at least half of the clubs in the district are like, oh, we do health fairs every year. We're doing health fair this year. But social issues do arise. And of course, while Lions Club itself is not a political organization, we do see the effects of sort of current issues causing like things like say the LA wildfires. So it's like refocusing your efforts towards the wildfires. And generally, I would say it is the younger people that come out and say like, hey, this is something that's current, this is happening. I want to like initiate something to assist for those efforts. So yeah. Increase Lions Club exposure to the community. Likewise, Leos are usually the ones going out there and wanting to do sort of hands-on service. A lot of them have community service requirements for their school. So that lends itself to having more regular service projects, like having a project every week or having something that's very hands-on, like cleaning the community or like, serving food at the food bank or, tutoring people or like visiting people in care homes. Those kind of projects that are like very, I would say, labor and time intensive, but also like very low complexity. Those lend itself very well to Leos because they want to get those hours in. They want to like do some hands-on service, and that also brings the Lions brand and elevates it and shows the community that we're like hands-on and active, as opposed to just planning events and like doing like one pancake breakfast a year. And although that has its own reward of like, this is like initiated and like fully ran by Lions, I think you get more exposure by doing the smaller events like sporadically throughout the year and like really hands-on. Okay, and then of course gain potential new members in Lions Club with both graduating Leos and their parents and family members. Don't even have to say anything about that with me and you here. All right, how are we doing? Any idea or any like questions or comments? Okay. Do you know how much time we have?
I think it goes until 25 or 30, let me check.
Okay, that's not too bad. I'm doing like,
You got all the way
okay.
Oh, you got all the way up to 45, you got like 40 minutes.
Oh man, okay. I don't think we'll last that long, but that's fine. Role of Leo Club advisor, again, yes, of course, they are a mentor, motivator, counselor, liaison, and service role model. Of course, your relationship with your Leo Club may be different, or every relationship is different. Every club runs their own way. They have their own protocols. They have their own like sort of practices. I've seen clubs that are very like, sort of not to say micromanagey, but like the Leos are like kind of busy with a lot of other things. So they like sort of ask the Lions to do a lot more of the heavy lifting as far as organizing, setting the meeting times, and saying, hey, it's like, let's do like Lions Club is going to do this project. Can you come help us? Other clubs are the opposite, where the Leos are, sort of larger clubs are usually this way, where the Leos have kind of built up their own leadership infrastructure and, run their own show. And the Leo advisor is pretty much just there to make sure that things don't like go off the tracks in a crazy direction or in a way that's like, in violation of like sort of the way that Leo clubs are supposed to run from a legal perspective. Or like, like, okay, hey, this thing isn't possible because, you can't do this. But otherwise, the Leos are free to roam and sort of come up with their own projects and sort of really run the club themselves. Both ways are good, of course, because we want to promote leadership, but we also want to make sure things are sort of one is that there's good Lions to Leo collaboration, that it's not just the Leo club doing its own thing and the Lions club has no idea. And two is that you just want to make sure that things are on the up and up. And again, we're not going to do the module. And I think that's just a summary of like, oh, okay. So next module, I guess, is role of Leo Club advisor. And here are like 5 sort of key areas that they've like identified as like ways that a Leo advisor is, or like different facets of being a Leo advisor. I'm gonna go stand up over here so I can read them. Okay, so let's see. All right, so a Leo Club advisor is a mentor. So since they are, of course, more experienced, and hopefully have, seen many Leo Club generations go through, they can give best practices. They can sort of, guide when it comes to like, oh, you're planning an event. This is like ways that we've seen an event be successful in the past. This is like the kind of delegation that you do. This is the kind of like planning you do at each stage, that kind of thing. Leo Club advisors are also supposed to be motivators. So that comes with recognition. Like if a Leo is doing good, or if the club is doing good, or they've successfully completed a service project, definitely give them props on that. It also goes to show that like we don't really think about this probably as Lions because it's been a long time, but Leos having still being in the school system, trying to apply for colleges, sort of being very early in their learning and professional careers, like accomplishments for them mean a lot greater than like a Lion who's been serving for like 10 years and has received Lion of the Year multiple times. Like for that Leo, this may be the first time that they've led an initiative or a project, or served in an officer position. For this Leo, it may be the first time that anyone's recognized their hard work outside of school without like, it's not a grade. It's like a, thank you for doing this. Like you didn't have to do this. Like you're doing this voluntarily, and you did a great job. And of course, from a more, how do you put it, like pragmatic standpoint too, it's like college apps, job applications. These are very real things that a Leo is either dealing with or going to be dealing with the next couple of years. And recognition is free. Like you can give a Leo an award that says, hey, like outstanding service, like you can invent things. Also along a similar line, I don't know if it's in the slide, but you can invent positions. Like you have a club, you have a particular need for, to someone to organize a service project. That person is the service project chair. They're the chairperson of this project. Like, there's nothing in the bylaws or like listed officially on the Leo Club manual that this is a position, but you can make the position as you go along. You can assign it to them. They can put it on their resume. They can feel really happy and be able to say, it's like, hey, I was the chairperson for a project that served 300 people, served the food insecure, like 300 people. And that's like, even to the level of like, we do service project at San Francisco Food Bank. just being the person that organizes the people and gets that set up so that they go and work there. The service was not something that like the Leos came up with on their own, but they helped make that happen, and we can recognize them for that. Counselor, of course, I mean, I think I went to this earlier, but really one of the most important parts of a Leo club, especially when the Leo club is very active and very, gung ho, and like they're very self-sustaining and are able to do things themselves, it is still the responsibility of the advisor to act as sort of a counselor and a guidance. Is that 5 minutes?
No, I'm just checking. You have
Or what?
35.
Okay, where's John?
Not here.
I mean, has he said anything? Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm chilling. Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So yeah, it's like the advisor, it's really on the onus of the advisor to know when the Leos can make their own decisions or when they really have to defer to like the constitution and bylaws or to the will of the club. And sometimes, it may even be as like benign as, oh, the Leo clubs want to do a project on a certain day, but that conflicts with like club officer training here. So it's like saying like, hey, like as much as we would like you to have your own self-sustained project, this is an important day for Lions, and we won't have Lions available to assist you with that. So if you could reschedule, like that kind of thing. But of course, it's really up to the individual to figure out when that is necessary and when that is sort of something that's not necessary. And in liaison, of course, the advisor is both the liaison upward and downward to the Leo club, telling what the Lions are up to, offering opportunities. Youth exchange, I remember just one, but whenever things come up at your Lions club and it's something pertaining to Leos, push that information down. But equally important, and I think it's not something that's usually addressed very well, is that the Leos also should have an opportunity to speak to the Lions about like things that they want to see changed or ways that we can improve as an organization. That's kind of something that not overlooked because Lions aren't listening. I don't believe that there are that many Lions who are like, oh, we don't care about what the Leos have to say, but just maybe more so on the Leo side that they don't know that they can offer feedback, or they were never asked, or if they were asked, it was like at an inopportune time, and then it said, oh yeah, like that's a good idea, like tell me about that, like during the next year or something like that. And then of course they're Leo, like 1 year to them, 1 year to us is like, okay, this will be happening in a couple months, we'll be reset. For them, that could be the end of their term as a president or as a Leo if they're graduating. So like making sure to like really listen for feedback and try to like actively listen for it, and then take that to the Lions Club and advocate with action. Of course it's up to the Leo to convince you that their suggestion is worthy of like being like pushed for, but if they opened up and talked to you about it, I think it is. And of course, service role model. Hopefully the advisors are not just, sitting in the back room and saying, good job, Leos, while they do their service. We really want Leo, like a Leo club advisor is supposedly, I mean, some school-based clubs operate differently and they have a teacher as an advisor and then maybe a Lions Club advisor that shows up every couple of months or something. But if the advisor is a Lion, really want to see the Lions also serving with the Leos, because of course, we're all here for service. Titles are just titles. It's really just a matter of age. So, like definitely practice what you preach and show the Leos that, hey, even as a Lion, they're still going out and doing the exact same service that we did as a Leo. They just have more experience with it. So then they can see themselves in your shoes, like 5-10 years from now. They can remember it's like, hey, I did this activity. It was fun as a high schooler. Now I've graduated. It's like, I want to go back and do that same thing. I remember that, Mr. Paul was the one who was like just serving alongside with us.
You have to call him Mr. Paul.
Right. I mean, I'm speaking from the Leo perspective, right?
They don't call me, they just call me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So let's see. Specific advisor responsibilities. Let's just read this out because I haven't had a chance to read it. Also, do you like how the camera follows my face?
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think I can zoom in. Zoom in. Yeah, okay, nice. All right, so Leo Club advisor responsibilities, oversee initiation and ongoing development of Leo's Club, of course. Report club officers and members in the online reporting system and the service activities as well. So that is kind of the advisor responsibility, but it's also the responsibility for them to teach them how to do it themselves, because club officers, I believe, can be reported by the current Leo Club secretary. Club members can also be reported by the current secretary or maybe even president. There's a table later on that will go over the specifics. And then service will obviously also be reported by the secretary. Okay, train Leo Club officers to use online. Okay, well, I got ahead of myself because the next bullet point is just literally that. Promote collaboration, updating the Leos on their the Lions Club activities and updating Lions on the Leos Club activities. Attend the board meetings, please. That's the bare minimum. Ensure new Leos receive new member materials and orientation. We're not that great at that. I think that's something the district can really do. The Leo district can do at a district level is have like orientations maybe quarterly so that all the new Leos can attend a Zoom meeting and learn universally what, from a very like wide point of view, what Leos are doing in the district. Recognize Leos for their achievements, yep, and encourage Leos to become Lions, of course. Difference between Alpha and Omega, I'm not even gonna, actually, difference between Alpha and Omega club advisors. I don't think this is very relevant because I think most clubs are alphas, but alphas, they can kind of see is more of a hands-on role and more of a like top-down approach, whereas Omega, they kind of see it as more of like the advisor or the counselor approach and have the Leos do their own thing. Because of course, if they're already adults, then it's, we want to give them their own autonomy. But yes, of course, Alpha Leo clubs also have the responsibility of corresponding between parents and schools, if you are school-based, and then for parents, of course, making sure that parental consent and that that they're aware of what the Leos are doing in the club, and that if there are any events that require parent supervision or permission, then those are taken care of. Difference between school and community-based clubs. Community one's in a community, school one's in a school. Both have their pros and cons. I think the school one is very popular just because you have a captive audience, so to speak. Like it takes place in the school, the meetings are in a school.
Potential members are already there.
Yeah, they're already there, and the infrastructure, like you don't have to set up a meeting time or a place, because like all the clubs meet in lunch and you can just find the advisor and meet in their room. But the difficulty, of course, also is getting that school advisor, submitting or adhering to the school's protocol as far as having a club, and then also gaining access to the school once that Leo club is set up. Because I've definitely seen Leo clubs that have operated independently for several years without Lion Club involvement, just because they were set up in a school and the Lions Club either didn't have access or didn't pursue that access and go to the school and like remind them that, hey, like we're your sponsors. Is there like some major screen burn-in on the, like, do you see these like black spots? Okay, yeah, thought that was just me. All right, program resources. Nope, this is administration. What? $100 annual fee. I think that's the end. Yeah. Okay, so now this is officers. Yep, we've already covered this. Please try to have regular meeting times. That kind of helps, even if there's not a lot of people. Of course, if there's one person, then might have to call it off, or if it's by Zoom, then it'll be short. But really, I think the most important thing, I'm speaking to you now directly, is that like have a time, even if it's a time that not everyone can meet. If you can have a time where half of the people can meet and the other half can meet, then I think that's kind of the way you got to go. And then this can be monthly or bi-month, like every 2 months kind of deal. But have a dedicated date on their calendar that they can say, this is when the Leo Club is going to be, and like I'm currently free at this date and I won't make plans in the future. Like every
Bi-monthly might work better.
Yeah, I think 2 months is fine, and then like or monthly, but at different times, because I know some people can't make. I don't remember the specifics, but it's like some people can't make like weekday evenings because they have sports, and they only want like weekend.
We can do monthly. It's just monthly should be like not a set day, but we will meet every month, just not on a specific day.
I think, but I really think I think the recommendation is that if you have a specific day, then people have that in their mind and can put it on their calendar and can say like lock in for this. But you can switch the days around each one. Like you can have
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
like I mean you can have like a set day and this will happen every 2 or 3 months, a different day for the other month, and then a different day for the third month. Like
Well, yeah, I was when you were saying that, I was thinking like maybe we can meet, like, let's say we can meet on Friday night. But then on that month or next month, when do you want to meet? Then we just get everyone's consensus.
yeah, okay. I mean that also works, but just make sure, yeah, then you gotta keep up with those reminders and make sure that
I gotta see this. Still, you know.
yeah. Let's see, League Club officer elections, and yeah, hopefully we've done that. Take office by July 1. It doesn't actually say a date, which is interesting. I kind of assumed that they would have a specific date, but not. That is fine. I know that Lions, I believe, is June 15th or May 15th. Yeah. Okay, nominations should be made prior, and then of course the standard way that voting works is that you make the nomination the previous meeting, or just prior, like like at the meeting, but before you actually start the election. Then you have secret ballot, written ballot, like pieces of paper in a hat work. Some Leo clubs or some clubs I've seen do it online. Election Buddy is one good online provider. And then candidates must receive the majority of votes. Yep, of course. Present and in good standing. So that is a very interesting concept because as we know for Lions, good standing means you paid your dues. Leos do not have dues unless your club specifically appoints those, like, separate fee for each Leo that goes into the club funds. So I think good standing might just mean that they attend meeting. Like it's up to the club's discretion to determine when a member is in good standing and when they like fall in arrears. New member initiation. They have a nice document over here that goes through the ceremony, sort of a pre-made speech that you can say. It goes into like the history of the Leo Club program as well and sort of the goals of it. That's a resource you can find online. Fees, of course, $100 paid by the Lions Club. Club and district and multiple district fees or dues may be requested, currently are not requested. I don't believe the district has a plan to initiate a per Leo fee. But it is possible. It's something we can do, and that would give the Leo district some more funds to do more interesting things. But I don't think it's currently in the works for at least the next year. Admin versus activity. I mean, hopefully, if your Leo club is actually fundraising, then this is an issue. But the general idea of it is that dues and other payments made by Leos to the club are administrative fees. Every other money that you collect from the public through fundraising or otherwise are service or activity funds. Administrative funds can be used for everything. They can be used for buying club supplies. They can be used for they can be donated to the public, etc. Like you can use it for any such purpose. Activity has the specific stipulation that it must be used for service. It can be used for supplies specific to a service project, such as buying food that you'll then donate, or buying, like, say, buckets and stuff for cleaning like the beach. That's fine, but it cannot be used for things such as member lodging to attend the convention, or I guess transportation, but not to a service project, but transportation to like a regular meeting, or even just supplies for a regular meeting. Like that cannot be taken from fundraised funds or activity funds. It is the best practice for a Lions Club to have their separate accounts for this, or if not, to have really good bookkeeping to split these two types of funds separately. And I think the treasurer training that's happening either right now or later will go into that in detail. Insurance, I think I already talked about the insurance, but yeah, you can do that. Personal information usage. As part of running a club, we do collect information about youth. They have that Leo 50 form that they submit to become a member. It does include their personal information like birthday, email address, phone number, mailing address, all sorts of stuff. Lions Clubs International does have a privacy policy that restricts the access to those youth information to only members of the Leo Club and the Leo Club advisor. And I think also the Lions Club secretary or something, but the information is very locked down. Most people outside of the club would not have access to this. So that's one thing that you can be rest assured of, but also for those who do have access, like yourself, like everyone in the room who's a Leo advisor, do use that information only for the specific purposes outlined and for that they have given consent to, which of course, sending notifications about meetings and information about the club, submitting mailing them pins or other paraphernalia related to the club. And then of course they have some special advertising, but only as determined by the National Board of Directors. And usually those advertising is more towards like, oh, here's the Lion magazine, or here's like, there's an opportunity for Leos to attend the USA Canada Forum for Leos. But those specific purposes only. And I think this is more true for Lions, I would say. So Lions get a book, a directory that has all of the information of all the Lions in the district, or I guess all of the clubs in the district now, not every member. And yeah, don't use that for professional purposes or for like, your own outreach for like your business or anything like that. And we already covered general liability insurance. You can get a certificate online whenever you have a project. And I thought it was 1 mil, but it's 2 mil in coverage, which is cool. Logos. Find them online. Official colors. I don't know. I've never seen green used as a Leo color.
Never seen gray use an official Leo color.
I mean, that's gray. That's not black. That's gray. Yeah. But blue, yes, definitely seen like the slide is blue. Yellow, of course, is the accent color for Lions. Green? I don't know. Oh, I guess that's green. Yeah. I sometimes text the screen, sure. Important dates. October is Leo Membership Growth Month. It's also Lions Membership Growth Month. Long story short, if you're planning to add a bunch of members for whatever reason, like you just came into a bunch of members, it's a good idea to add them in October. I'm not going to tell you what to do or if they want to be members immediately, that's good too. But there are specific incentives for members that recruit a lot. I think if you as a Leo or a Lion recruit like 5 members during October, you get some sort of recognition. So that's kind of their hype month, October. December 5th is International Leo Day. They usually have a Zoom meeting on that day or around that day, where they show the Leo Club, the Leo Video Contest winner of the year. And I hope that Leo Video Contest is on here, but if not, that's fine. But yeah, International Leo Day, make sure to celebrate that locally if you can, or you can find something to do that day. That'd be cool. April is Leo Club Awareness Month. I wasn't aware of it, so I don't know. And June or July is the Lions Club International Convention. That'll be happening, I believe, in 2 weeks in Orlando this year. This is a Leo 50A form, or an O form for Omegas. This is what you should be submitting, or you should have the parents submit, or Leo plus their parents submit every time you onboard a new Leo. It is very important because there's a part for the signature let's see if we can skip it. Yeah, exactly. For Alpha Leos, there is a section for parental consent, and it has a bunch of legal language that we would very much like the parent to sign before they are a member of the club. You keep this form. Every club will keep their forms. Either you scan it and you put it in some sort of online repository, or you physically keep a binder somewhere. But we should keep all of these forms so that they can be referred to if needed, knock on wood, that they are never needed. And when you input a new member onto the Lions portal, like after receiving this form, there will be an explicit checkbox saying, I've received a signed Leo 50 form with parental consent for this member. And you won't be able to proceed further with adding that member without that consent form. I think for Leos that already existed prior to this thing, it might allow them to remain, but there will be like a flag saying like, hey, you should get that. You should make sure you have that form. Okay, I think I'm nearing the end. Any questions first?
No.
Please, okay. I'm glad it's being recorded. Importance of membership and officer reporting. didn't even say the importance. It just went right into the table. But yes, membership is important because, of course, we do not get billed for each Leo, so there is no downside of adding a Leo to the club. Like if they want to be a member, it's not like for Lions clubs or for other capacities where there is dues, and sometimes a Lion or a prospect may want to sort of feel out the club first, figure out if it's the right fit before joining, because they would have to pay, $135 or so to join. With a Leo, you can if they have their parental consent form signed and ready, you can onboard them that day, and it's very advised that you do, because that counts as their like join date on Lions International. If they ever become a Lion, their membership history stays. So I'm like a Lion of like 15 years already, just because I was a Leo prior. But yes, let's see here. Who can report each position? Most of the positions can be appointed by, or most of the Leo Club positions can be appointed by either the Leo Club advisor or the Lions Club president. Yes, let's see here. Oh, okay, and this is all Lions positions actually. Let's go on to important of service reporting. Yes, please report your service. Service chairperson training will go more into it, but keeps our metrics up and gives us a good idea of how much we're serving. So okay, did you know this? Who can report service? President, secretary, advisor. That's the big one. And then for the Leo district, president, secretary, and chairperson. Yeah, so it's not just on the Leo club to submit service. If your club is doing service and the Leos aren't really on it with reporting, please go in and report on their behalf so that we can get nice membership or metrics for our service. Maryah was supposed to talk here, but she already talked. So let's see, which part did she was muted when she was talking about it? Oh yeah, like
The first part, or
It's
just
just
literally the introduction.
So-
The first part.
yeah, so like okay, I mean just to recap for the youth protection policy, I mean really the main reason for this is compliance with state law. AB 506 states that every volunteer service organization, or I guess every organization that deals with youth, should have a youth protection policy in conformance with AB 506, which has specific requirements for number of hours, in contact with youth before you have to get live scanned, go through mandated reported training, get fingerprinted, etc. Yeah, and then I think Maryah went over the first or the rest of it. Oh my gosh, this is dragging. Oh, okay. Do you get this email? Does everyone here get this email newsletter? Have you seen it? leo@lionsclubs.org. Apparently they send it every month. Oh. But I mean, it is, if you're the advisor of your club and you have your email address recorded, it might be going to like another one of your emails though. But you check. Leo Club Program e-news. I don't know if they call it that anymore though. E-news. It's smaller. Yeah. Okay. So let's make sure we get that fixed for everyone who doesn't get that, because it does seem like it should be an automatic thing. There is a Leo Club Facebook page, or Leo Club Program Facebook page. There's also Leo Advisory Panel Facebook and Instagram. So if you're not following Leo Advisory Panel on Facebook or on Instagram, highly recommend. Yeah. If you would like to apply to be on the Leo Advisory Panel, the application is due August 15th. And then of course, like I mentioned before, the district governor can and should appoint a Leo or a Leo Lion to serve as the district liaison. They are a ad hoc, non-voting member of the cabinet, and they represent the interests of Leos and Leo Lions. There's also the International Leo Lion Board Liaison, which is the same thing, but for international. We've had a Leo Lion from New York, I believe, before. We've had one from Vancouver. Most recently, the Leo Lion board liaison has been from Brazil and from, it's Nicole. Look, I don't remember. I think she's either from Hong Kong or Taiwan. But that is a very bad thing to mix up. So I'm not gonna say definitively which one. But somewhere in Asia. Lions Learning Center. Online courses are available there, including for Leo. So that's pretty cool as far as getting leadership training. Like Leo club officers can attend or can go through the like club officer training for their online, completely online. And they can take it async, whenever they want to. And it should cover a lot of the same information. And I'm not this one because this is Leo advisor, but the president and secretary trainings that are happening in the other rooms. If they aren't physically here for that, which I assume they aren't, then doing this is the next best thing. You can get to here by just going to the Lions portal, just log in to actually, now that we're on Salesforce, I wonder if this still exists.
Oh, you have a point.
Oh man. No, I'm pretty sure it still exists. It just looks different from what this has. But yeah, because like now it's no longer Lions portal. It is you know what they call it? My Lion account or something? Salesforce. Yeah, but anyway, this is definitely a great resource if it still exists, and I assume it does. Leo leadership grants. You can apply for grants to hold Leo training. I believe that unfortunately, I think this is only for multiple districts. Oh, sub-districts. Okay. So a sub-district can also apply for Leo leadership grant, but I think there's some up to 3 grants for constitutional area, so it's a bit rough. LCIF Leo service grants, Leo district or multiple district. Cool. So it's just another such opportunity for funding for Leo Club. And awards. Okay. Appoint a Leo Club a Leo of the Year. Please do. Within your club. You can also apply for the Leo Club, the Club Excellence Award for Leos. And the Serving Together Award is if you complete a service project with a Lions Club within the service year and meet certain criteria as far as like, reporting it on My Lion or on, Lions Portal and having it be focused on one of the core service areas like environment, hunger, etc. Like if you meet certain criteria, you can get a Serving Together Award, which is cool. That's a picture of it over there. And lastly, I think we're nearing the end, but lionsclubs.org/Leos, a great starting point for a prospective Leo, for a Leo Club advisor looking for more information about the program, for Leo Club officers to look as well for the same reason. It is very versatile. It has, at the very top, it has like a nice video about Leos. I think that's been updated to like more recent information about like what Leos are doing. It'll have the Leo video contest winners. It'll have information about the Leo video contest that'll be happening later this year. It's just, great website and very easy to remember.
10 minutes.
Okay, I think
we're done.
Yeah, I think the slides won't progress anymore, so I think that might be my last slide. So at this point, I'd like to open it up again for questions. You got any question or is there anyone, and by anyone I mean you, Paul, anyone who has like is there anything that you gained out of this that you're like, oh, I didn't know that before? Like, okay, I guess this gives me something to think about.
Well, the really only significant thing would be that bi-monthly thing.
Yeah.
Things change around. If you're gonna do it, every month, all the girls have like extracurricular stuff. They're always, that comes in with that comes with our price of being community based.
Yeah, community based and sort of your members are quite involved with other things as well. So I think best is like one is to meet them where they are. Like if you can't have a meeting, then have a service project that is followed by a short 10 to 15 minute talk over lunch.
Yeah.
that you call a meeting and have operate in a meeting sense where you write the minutes down of what you talked about, you take attendance, that counts as your meeting. And then, do it for like very exciting service too, like, the Cherry Blossom Festival, or like food bank is good, but like if you have like something like Sunday Streets is coming up, I would highly recommend that the club look into volunteering for Sunday Streets, because that's quite rewarding and involved and visible. Get club shirts. That is something that's
something I
not.
wanted to talk about.
Get club shirts. If you just need me to help and like just get it ordered online somewhere. You don't need to
Yeah.
pay for it separately, or ask the Lions Club for like $100 or something in funding.
Like
Like
thinking about, because they wanted to change the design.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And I also was thinking about a pin,
Get pins.
because.
You can order them in small volume. It might be more expensive, but yeah, just get that stuff. You can order anything online these days. I'm gonna look for it for ourselves, for our club. Lions Club, that is. Yeah, get good club shirts, get good club pins. The club shirt or the youth exchange shirt this year is,
Amber's about to find that out.
yeah, I liked our shirts last. Did you get a shirt last year?
When I went. I
Camp
had
San
mine
Francisco? Or no, did you have like from the last year's program?
Was it the orange one?
The orange one with the text, Camp San Francisco. I like that. I mean, I made it. So, but like, I was like, okay, this is like kind of subtle. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, but branding is important. Club shirts, vests, if they have them. The banners, if you have an event or something, but there are, like vest and banner is like the OG. It's like, you get the
They want
Rocky
it.
Deal vest. Yeah. So like,
Zip-hoodie, I think would be fine with it,
like a zip. Okay. Okay.
because I know though, being the geographical area that we are. A lot of them, I think they would rock that more than a shirt, just to be honest.
I mean, but like, you always wear a shirt. But yeah, I mean, it depends on fashion too. It's like, yeah, if you're, like, yeah, style wise.
Maybe we'll use that color green,
Yeah.
utilize it.
Bruh. You know what? I mean, this is something that I've thought about for a long time. I don't know if they'd be down for it, but I should actually, before, like, thank you. Yeah, thank you all for attending. We're gonna move on into like sort of open discussion now, so I'm gonna stop the recording. But yeah, that has been the club officer training for Leo Advisor 2025, or the upcoming Lionistic year 2025. It's still June 2025. I'm Leo Lion August Valera. I was joined earlier by second Vice District Governor-elect Maryah Tucker. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I'll probably look into the videos. I already have an idea.